No one likes cleaning their kitchens, so putting in finishes and fixtures that are easy to maintain is a win-win for everyone involved. By choosing these, you'll spend less time scrubbing and more time enjoying your kitchen. From countertops to hardware, here are all the materials you should choose for hassle-free kitchen upkeep. If you cook or use a lot of spices, then your kitchen countertops need to be non-porous, otherwise they'll get stained by cooking spills and splatters. While marble and butcher block wood are popular options, they are porous and require ongoing maintenance, including periodic sealing. They're also susceptible to scratches and cuts, so they're not low maintenance at all. Granite is a better option if you're looking for a natural material that isn't as high maintenance. It is very heat and scratch resistant and doesn't chip as easily due to its hardness. As with all natural materials, it does require sealing, but only every year or so, which is a lot less compared to marble that needs to be sealed every 6 months. Quartzite is another great natural option with soft and ethereal veining, much like marble, but with the durability of granite. It also doesn't stain and scratch as easily as marble, which is a huge bonus. As for man-made materials, porcelain is a fantastic option. Porcelain is stronger than granite, making it super scratch resistant. It also has an absorption rate of under 0.5%, so it is one of the most non-porous materials on the market and is extremely stain resistant. Countertop porcelain is often coated with pigmented glazes to give it a similar appearance to natural stone. The pigments can also be added during the fabrication process. The downside is that porcelain can easily crack if something is dropped on it, and unlike natural stones, they can't be repaired as the patterns are only visible on the surface. The inside material does not contain any pattern. If you're looking for something more affordable, you might go for an engineered stone benchtop, which is often known as quartz. They have been a popular alternative to natural stone for years, as they look almost exactly like it, but are non-porous and don't absorb any spilled liquids. They are also about as durable and resistant to scratches as countertops get. Unfortunately, quartz will be banned in Australia starting July 2024 because of rising silicosis cases from silica dust inhalation, which can be unsafe to workers cutting the stone. But the law and safety procedures may be different in your country, so be sure to check that out before buying. My final suggestion are laminate countertops, as they are as affordable as it gets when it comes to non-porous and easy to clean surfaces. The only downside is that laminate is not as durable as other materials, and in some applications, laminate can look a bit dated. Just like kitchen countertops, splashbacks need to be non-porous. Ceramic and porcelain tiles are popular options, but solid or mirrored glass splashbacks works just as well. Ceramic and porcelain tiles are very low maintenance as they have protective glazes on them to resist stains. They are also non-porous and don't require any sealing at all. The main differences between these two are cost and durability. Porcelain tiles are denser, so it is generally more durable than ceramic tiles. If you do go down the tile route, consider epoxy grout as they are much more stain resistant and don't require sealing as it is non-porous. The downside, they are much more expensive and tricky to apply, so it is very likely you need a professional to install rather than a DIY. Glass splashbacks are another low maintenance option as they're super smooth and easy to wipe down due to not having any grout lines. There's also a clear option that is similar to a window, which allows natural light and greenery as the backdrop. Just be mindful of privacy, which is why it's always best when surrounded by screening plants. The biggest problem with glass splashbacks is that they show grease and food splatters, which means you need to give them a quick wipe over after each cooking session, so this totally depends on your preference. Another low maintenance and durable option is stainless steel, which you often see in commercial kitchens. I think it is best suited in a contemporary or industrial style home, but a small sheet just for the back of the stove can be a good option to consider. There are also many natural stone slabs that people like to use as backsplash, such as granite and quartzite, which have varying levels of porousness. If you go down the natural stone route, I'll steer clear of using marble as a splashback if you like cooking, as it is so porous. I'll also try to steer clear of backsplashes with raised surfaces, like those geometric tiles that were once very trendy, or limestone backsplash that, despite looking good, will be a very big pain to clean. The less embellishments on your cabinets, the easier they are to maintain and the more hygienic they are. Unless you have a traditional kitchen, avoid crown molding and corbels as they attract dirt and dust in all of their cracks and crevices. The easiest type of cabinets to maintain are ones with flat panel doors. They're super modern, so they're not suited to all kitchens, but as there are no door details, hardly any dust or dirt settles on them. Many people also prefer to go without hardware with flat panel doors, which is easier to maintain. There's so many ways you can get creative with the details and cutout, which makes a plain, flat front cabinet looks much more interesting. If you think that flat panel doors are too plain, shaker doors are a great compromise. You can go for a slim shaker profile for a more contemporary look, or traditional shaker profile, well, for a more traditional look. The slight ridges around the rectangular frame can catch dust and crumbs, but this can be brushed off relatively easily. If you go for a more decorative options like this, I'd recommend getting flush ends rather than match ends to make cleaning easier there as well. Another tip is to get your upper cabinet section all the way to your ceilings, so you don't have to spring clean the tops of your upper cabinets every few months. In terms of color and finish, I find that sateen is a safe choice. Or if you're looking for a more natural timber look, a medium stain works well. Sateen is a great middle ground as it is not too matte or too shiny for fingerprints to show and can withstand regular wipe downs. Medium tone stains work better than dark stains as dust and fingerprints are super visible on dark surfaces. I'd also go for something with a distinct grain pattern as it makes scratches and stains less visible. When it comes to kitchen flooring, it is best to avoid very dark or very light flooring as they tend to reveal every crumb and speck of dust that has fallen on the floor. Go for medium tones instead. In terms of flooring type, hardwood, engineered wood, large format porcelain or ceramic tiles, or vinyl are all great choices. They all handle moisture quite well and are all smooth surfaces that are easy to vacuum and mop. It is always best to avoid highly textured flooring with lots of crevices, grooves, wide seams and/or gaps as they are a pain to clean. Vinyl flooring can either come in planks or sheets and generally handle moisture better than hardwood flooring. They're hard to stain and scratch, have no grout lines, and come in many styles with some products that mimic timber or even concrete. The downside is that they can sometimes look cheap. If you're going for tile, go for larger format tiles because there will be less grout that needs to be sealed and cleaned. While expensive, porcelain tiles are particularly good as they are super resistant to moisture. They absorb less than 0.5% of moisture when wet, so they won't absorb any of your kitchen spills. The two main types of kitchen sinks are undermount sinks and drop-in sinks. Farmhouse sink is also a popular choice, which depends on the style of your kitchen. Drop-in sinks sit on top of the counter, secured by a rim around the edge, while undermount sinks, as the name suggests, are affixed from beneath the countertop. They have a smoother, sleeker appearance without an exposed rim. Beyond aesthetics, I'd suggest an undermount sink as they're much easier to clean. You can easily wipe any crumbs from your countertop into your sink without them getting stuck in the edge rim of a drop-in sink. Unfortunately, undermount sinks are more difficult to install and are much more expensive. However, if you have the budget for them, I'd highly recommend one. A swivel or pull-out kitchen faucet is also a nice addition that allows you to clean the edges of the sink much faster and easier. Open shelving has been all the rage for the past few years in kitchens, but as I have highlighted in my videos in the past, most people do not have the time to curate their dishes and decor to perfection or time for all the dusting. Now, I totally understand if you need to have everything out in the open, but if you don't, then I think closed shelving is generally the least maintenance, especially for greasy kitchens. But I also find the combination of open and closed to be very functional, with closed cabinetry around the cooking area for ease of cleaning and to hide away clutter, and open shelving away from the cooking area for ease of access and to create your most beautiful objects. I've also seen great use of glass doors and cabinets so you can have your best cutlery and cookery on display without it getting covered in oil and dust. When it comes to finishes, it is best to avoid highly polished or shiny ones if you want a low maintenance space, especially shiny chrome or polished nickel faucets, knobs, and pulls. They're notorious for being covered in fingerprints and constantly showing blemishes. Generally, matte and brush finishes stay looking cleaner for longer. For example, brushed nickel and satin nickel are quite matte finishes that hide fingerprints well. Having said that, you still need to wipe them down from time to time to avoid stubborn stains. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my video on impractical design trends and 11 things to avoid for a low maintenance home. As always, if you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a like and share it with anyone you know who is about to renovate their kitchen. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.